Hello and welcome to Pitlanes and Pavilions. This is a podcast where we dive deep into F1 and cricket. We make our predictions,
Theories.
and a lot of meme reactions before and after the event. In this episode, we will break down the circuit, lock in our race predictions, and see how correct we are on Sunday.
Yeah, so before diving into the Suzuka Grand Prix, I feel it is important to discuss the last two races as well, where we saw both the Mercedes like winning one and two, like P1 and P2 in
Pure
both the races.
domination.
Yeah, pure domination over there. And that too, like they were front in the qualies as well, in the sprint as well. So I mean, nothing else was like Toto Wolff was expecting nothing else from the two drivers, and that too one of them being 19 years old. So yeah, that was like the first two races, but again, Ferrari wasn't that far behind Mercedes in the first race, at least, where their strategy again like messed up. But apart from that, in the second race, it was pure domination where they won by 25 seconds. So yeah,
I think Lewis looks very comfortable in a Ferrari right now.
for the
Last
first
year,
time.
that was not the case.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So if I talk about Lewis Hamilton, like I feel he's like liking the car this time more, like the balance of the car. Like last time he wasn't able to handle the car very properly and he was complaining constantly. But as many experts also said, like it usually takes a year or two to adjust into the Ferrari space because it is very different from other cars, right?
well, we move on to the Suzuka Grand Prix. And before that, Aman, do you want to talk about the recent case that's going on?
The recent case as in the Mercedes thing which is
Ferrari
going
thing.
on. Yeah, so this time Mercedes and Ferrari are in a little battle over here. So Ferrari has apparently approached the FIA based on some regulations which have been like they are apparently saying that Mercedes are not complying with the rules completely when it comes to the DRS and the front wing. According to the FIA regulation, they require the flaps to close within 400 milliseconds. But now here is where Mercedes has cracked the code and
Cracked the code.
and what they have done
Cheated,
is
I mean.
cracked the code where what they've done is so they have broken the front wing into two pieces. One of them closes in like within 400 milliseconds, which sends a signal to the FIA that they have been complying with the rules, but the other one closes in 800 milliseconds, which is like twice as what is expected from them. So what they're doing is they have a wing which is closing beyond the pass time, but at the same time the legality clause is also there, wherein one wing is closing in 400 milliseconds. So, but Ferrari like saw that in the Chinese Grand Prix and complained to the FIA. And if they get disqualified, you know who wins race for Ferrari for the first time?
Woohoo!
Lewis Hamilton. Yeah.
I'm a pro Ferrari since I've been following F1. And he's the one who's recently converted into Ferrari because
Because
he's a
of
fan of.
Lewis Hamilton.
Coming to the Suzuka Grand Prix, this is round 3 out of the 24 races, and this is one of the last races before we break away for 5 weeks because
Yeah.
Bahrain and Saudi Arabia are cancelled. Let's move on to understanding what this track holds. Aman, do you want to say something about that?
Yeah, so like the Suzuka Grand Prix, like the track is one of kind because it is the 8 track wherein the track loops itself. Other tracks are very like one-sided bias, like they have a one-side bias wherein if a car is doing well in one direction, you just have to go round and round in one direction, right? So it is good for them. But here in Suzuka, the case is not similar. It is not a right-sided track. It is not a left-sided track. It consists of both the turns. So that is why this will incorporate which car is more balanced and more structured and doesn't have this bias of direction. So it is a very good race for this reason. And apart from that, the altitude also keeps on changing as in when we like as if in the entire 5 kilometer track, and this was started in 1987 and is one of the most challenging races for the same reason as well because of the constant left and right both directions involved here.
So anyone that's cheating, any car that's cheating, gets exposed here. And because the gradients are different, a lot of downforce comes into play.
Yeah.
Coming back to the Suzuka track, the history behind the Suzuka track, it has a great ton of history attached to it. A lot of amazing rivalries have come into place here. A lot of people, great drivers, have shown their greatness. They've dominated here. It has been the championship decider in a lot of years. But we've also seen Jules Bianchi have a very, very bad crash, after which he passed away. And we've also had a very great race of Kimi Raikkonen.
Yeah.
He drove from 17th to first place in 2005, which was quite some years back. But I think Max has been dominating for the last 4 years with
Yeah.
pole positions and wins consecutively. This year, do we think Max will win with the race that he's having?
Let's see if
Races
he
that
gets
he's
into the
having.
points with both the in both races. Red Bull has lost one of its car in a engine failure, right? So it is not very prominent because for the first time Red Bull is producing its own engine also here. So it could be difficult this time. Like the reliability factor and the confidence that Max has on the car, that also comes into picture because of that, right?
I think the flamboyance and the
Yeah.
arrogance that Max had in him
Yeah.
when he was winning championship is lacking here. I think he's very sad right now. I don't think the car is doing him justice. But let's see what they've done. We've had quite a lot of breaks since the last
Yeah.
Grand Prix, and I think they've worked on their battery systems that have been shutting down.
But I'm actually pretty happy that Max is having a bad season
We're
finally.
Both of us are Red Bull haters, guys. I
Yeah.
think Red Bull fans can argue about it.
But I'm more excited about Red Bull's livery this time, the white livery which is there. Last time also they had this, Max was on the pole, he won the race also. But this time the picture seems to be very different because of both the cars dominating. And you know a fact over here, like let me just tell you one thing. Haas is above Red Bull on the points right now for the constructors, which is not something that I was expecting.
It's a very funny thing because McLaren was leading last
Yeah.
year and they've had a shit 2 races.
Like with Oscar Piastri not able to start even one of the races, and like Norris wasn't able to start the last race. So I'm hoping that Piastri starts this race, like he gets
He's
some
quite
experience.
funny.
Yeah,
Did you see that post?
yeah,
he
that
made?
was yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, we'll just attach it here.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next section, which is our prediction.
So it is prediction time.
So we will make our predictions on the podium.
Yeah.
On the qualifying pole position and P2, basically the front row before the race. And one underdog or one special event or one
Like the
surprise
surprise.
element that we will get in this race.
Yeah.
We can be very bold about this. And lastly, we'll also predict if there'll be a safety car and how many DNF in this race.
Plus, I think we should have a bold meter for the surprise element also. How bold have we gone with this prediction? And if it ends up being correct, kudos to that.
I think you all should also put in your prediction in the comments. So
Yeah.
after the race, when we look back at it, we know who's winning. On, let me give you the championship standings as of now after 2 races, Australia and China. Russell is at 51 points, ahead of Antonelli at 47. Mercedes is leading the constructors at 98, ahead of Ferrari, that is trailing them on 67. Let's move on with our pole predictions. I think the front row after qualifying. What do you think?
I think like for me, the front row lockout will be a Mercedes lockout, and it will be like Antonelli on pole and Russell second. So I'm putting this here because like I feel Mercedes has got that one lap pace in them, and like they have the straight line pace, and we've all seen like Mercedes being super quick this year. So I think that they'll again like dominate in qualifying, and they will end up in the front row. So that is my prediction. It is not very bold, but I think like that is the truth. Like for this race also actually, yeah.
I think my front row is Leclerc on pole and Antonelli second.
Yeah.
So Leclerc on pole because this is a very high downforce circuit, and Leclerc does well in downforce circuits like Monaco and Baku. So I think even the car of this year, Ferrari's car, the SF26, is built with aggressive aerodynamics, and Japan or Suzuka is a circuit of corners. Antonelli in second because he is one of the faster Mercedes out of the two.
Yeah.
And in qualifying for both these rounds, so I think he'll do well.
So let me let me tell you one of the fact that I hit from you. That is, Antonelli holds the fastest lap record over here at Suzuka.
Hold his fast record ever in Suzuka?
Yeah, like that was last
or
year.
Or his fastest?
Like the fastest at Suzuka. and that was last year 2025.
Oh,
so
damn.
that is why I put like Antonelli at P1 and P2 for Russell. So I think Saturday will be good for Mercedes, but then let's see my prediction for the race podium and the surprise element as well. Yeah.
We should have dares. The
Okay.
loser should do something.
Okay. I mean that seems like a good idea.
We'll put up a poll.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Moving on to the podium after race. I'll start with myself. I think P1 will be Russell because Russell has been winning
Okay.
and Russell has been a strong force.
Ta-da.
He's performed well. His pace is really good. Mercedes has a good raw pace.
Yeah.
And P2 will be clinched by Leclerc. I'm clearly
Yeah.
I'm clearly a Leclerc favorite.
Yeah.
But that's because he's been performing consistently. I think he has the hunger, and this time he will prove it because it's one of his stronger circuits. And P3 goes to Antonelli because I like the kid a lot. P4 is Hamilton, but he's not on the podium.
Now you didn't put like Hamilton on the podium. So now that you hear my like predictions for the race, it is like very similar, but at the same time different also. So I've put like Hamilton P1. Let's
Very,
go.
very, very bold.
And that is because like I'll tell you the reason for that. Like for me, P2 will be Antonelli as he starts P1 like qualifying the pathway, and then my P3 would be Leclerc. So I put Leclerc on the podium and Hamilton.
You've not put Russell on the
I've not
podium.
put Russell. Like Russell
He's
for me
been
will be like
winning.
P4. So I think like
He's
Suzuka.
confident.
Yeah, but then I feel Suzuka is a circuit where, like, as we mentioned, like it is a lot of more turns left and right both. So Ferrari is more balanced, and Hamilton has that hunger to like win a Grand Prix for Ferrari, and he has waited for a year to do that, right? So I think he is gonna win this one. Like the wait will end here. And apart from that, like I've not put Russell over here because like I feel he'll lag behind. Somewhere down the line, they will prefer Antonelli, like not team wise, but Antonelli will be like a lot quicker as compared to Russell, just because he has a lot more like he just won a race. Why he has a lot more confidence as compared to Russell, and in the last race also Russell was lagging behind Antonelli a lot, and that is the reason why I put like him on podium and not Russell. So yeah.
Very bold move.
Yeah, now
Let's move on to fastest lap.
yes.
What do you
So according to me, the fastest lap will be done by Russell, and that is because like I feel he'll lag behind the entire set of podium takers, and he'll have like fresh air in front of him when he's at P4, and he'll be willing or he'll be like lashing out to do the fastest lap at least. Even though they are not getting a point now for fastest lap, I still feel that he'll do the fastest lap. Yeah.
I think there's no incentive to do a fastest
Yeah.
lap anymore. But I get your point. My fastest lap goes to Kimi Antonelli
Damn.
because he will try his best to get another Mercedes 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And since I've given Russell P1, I think Kimi will fight Leclerc. And the second point is that when Russell, if Mercedes want Russell to win,
Yeah.
they will move him to a one-stop strategy, and that's why he'll be on old tires during the end of the race, while Kimi will be on new tires trying to overtake Ferrari. So he will clinch the fastest one.
One more hidden stat. So, like they've resurfaced the Sector 2 and Sector 3 this year for the Suzuka Grand Prix. So that is why there will be a lot of like tire degradation, as like, and plus like it is Suzuka, a lot of turns, a lot of like altitude change and everything. So there will be a lot of tire degradation. So I think it will be comparatively difficult to maintain and manage those tires in such conditions, and that is why there are a lot of like safety cars also which happen in Suzuka just because of this reason only. And plus like for this particular race, they've selected the C1, C2, and C3 compound tires, which they didn't do for the first two races, but they've done it for this race because like they also know that there will be a lot of tire degradation in this like circuit, so they've gone for the hardest compounds available. So that is one thing. So I think it will be a
Is this for
two-stroke race for
this
everyone.
particular race or the entire
Yes,
season?
for this particular race.
Oh,
Now let's move to the most exciting bit of the predictions. That is the surprise element that we have decided for this.
do you want to go first or should I go first?
You can go first. Yeah.
So my hot take is that Verstappen will not finish this race.
Damn.
Given his stellar performance in this circuit, I think with the confidence that he's lacking in this season and battery that Red Bull is lacking in this season,
I mean,
I
that is
think he will
bold.
not finish this race.
I mean, that is bold, but he didn't finish the last race also. But then that was a power engine issue, and now this time I like power unit issue, and this time I feel like Red Bull has worked a lot on their cars, so it is a bold like take that he will not finish the race. Damn. So my surprise of the race is that both McLarens will end up with points. Oscar Piastri hasn't driven even one lap of competitive racing in this season, but I think like both of them will end up with points.
That's a pretty hot take for this season,
Yeah.
but I think McLaren would have worked on their cars in the last 2 weeks. And there is a theory. McLaren are actually putting in 24 hours a day
Oh,
in one whole week. So 24 hours every day for a week
damn.
to understand their car and understand what the defects are, where it has become uncompetitive or unreliable, and they're working on it. This is something that I read on Reddit.
So that is why I feel Oscar Piastri won't have to post the post that he put again.
Oh my
He'll
God, that was
put the
such a
post over
funny
here.
post, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's using his skills somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, he has a lot of time for social media now that he's not racing, right?
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next prediction. That is the number of DNFs that is going to be there in this race.
And safety.
And safety car also at once. So for me, I've put the number to be 4 for number of DNFs, and I've put a yes for safety car, and not just a virtual safety car, but a safety car, like a proper safety car. So I put these two things because like seeing the number of DNFs that have already happened in this season and the reliability issues on the entire regulation change, I think it is like the 4 seems to be a decent number. Last year it would have been massive, but then this year seeing the 5 and the 7 in the first 2 races is like I just thought of like putting 4 over there. So
I think my number is quite similar. I've put 3 DNFs this race. Given the fact that there were 5 and 7
Yeah.
DNFs in the last 2 races, and Suzuka as a circuit has seen DNFs
yeah.
in 8 out of 10 races. 8
Oh.
out of the last 10 races, there have been DNFs, and like a lot of DNFs,
yeah.
dramatic DNFs. I just hope Carlos Sainz is not one of them.
In the Williams,
I feel really bad for him,
Yeah.
I think.
McLaren is behind Mercedes that you are winning and you are making our engines fail. So yes, okay.
So my safety car count is also yes, and not like virtual safety car, like actual safety car. Given the dramaticness of this race,
yeah.
coming to middle order, do we have any hot takes in the middle order?
In the middle order, I feel like this time, like I'm not expecting Aston Martin to do well because they're lagging way behind everyone. But I feel Audi will get points this race.
Audi in points.
Or
That should
Audi
have
in
been your
points,
hot take, or that
I mean, it is a surprise element also, but then I felt like McLaren was more of a surprise element this time.
First of all, I feel very bad for Tsunoda. It's his home race, and he's
Yeah.
not in the grid, on the grid.
So I feel Ollie Behrman has been like on my list this season because of the first 2 races performance that he has had. Like in the second race he came 5th recently, and he has been superb like since the first time that I saw him along like in Ferrari where he was racing in Saudi, I guess, and he was like battling with Hamilton because at that point he was in Mercedes, like Hamilton was in Mercedes, and the way he was battling Hamilton, it was like commendable. So I feel I had been looking up to him, and there was some story that he used to go to the school and like post about these things that I raced a Formula 1 car and everything. So I think it is very good that way. So I'm looking forward to like again he's the X factor for Haas, and that is the reason why Haas has been like ahead of Red Bull as well this year till now. So I'm looking forward to like Ollie Behrman only. So do you have any other?
I think
One.
Gasly will be the dark horse here.
Oh,
He has tons of potential. I
Yeah.
think the car is not doing him justice, and he's made for a better car.
yeah,
But I think this circuit, because it rewards great drivers,
yeah.
I think he will do well. And I don't think he's been doing well in the last 2 races.
Now, have you heard about Antonelli also? Like he gives his math homework to all the Ferrari, like Mercedes engineers. That over the weekend you have to do my homework.
He's very
and everything.
smart like that, I think.
Yeah.
Wrapping up this session, let's move on to what else is in store
Yeah.
What do you want to tell
So
them?
we are not just going to do like F1 pre and post race reviews. We are also going to bring you action from the IPL, and that too with predictions like pre-season prediction, midweek like mid-season predictions, and then we'll review our predictions as well. And along with that, post every match, we'll be discussing like topics about the match and then telling our playing 11 for the next match. And apart from that, a lot of like fun things like meme reviews as well, so that you also can keep up with all the live action which is coming along with IPL and the new owners.
He's very excited about Ananya Birla, I see. But
Kavimaram is now on second.
But IPL, or the Indian Premier League, is something that excites all of us. It's 3 months of pure drama, pure action, and it's the topic of every dining table conversation. So we thought we'd bring you that because we've got a lot of hot takes there. We're very competitive. I think we'll come to a lot of very different wavelengths when it comes to IPL, with our favorite teams, favorite players, who we think will do well,
Yeah.
who we think will not live up to the hype. Stay tuned for that. We have a lot of exciting stuff coming for you. But before that, I need you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I
And
think
along
it's a
with
very
that, we
new
have
space for us.
plus we have a lot of like guests also coming over. Like
Oh,
we have a lot of
yeah.
guests coming over from NUS. Like we also study in NUS, so we have a lot of guests coming from there. So let us know if you have some other topics also that you want us to discuss, and we will do that. Yeah.
I think podcasting is a new space for
Yeah.
us, but it's something that we think we'll do for a long time.
Yeah.
So do tell us in the comments. Your support is very well appreciated. Please subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. And we will see you next time. Until then, it's lights out and away we go.